Oh, good day, folks. So I'm back from the woods out here in the shop. And I spent a few days in the woods doing some testing with the BPS Adventurer and putting it through its paces. And I think I gave it some good, solid testing, some good hard use. Started off with some light battoning, and then I built a bow drill kit for starting fires. I was able to make the hearth board with the knife. I was able to bore out the depression to start the spindle in, carve the spindle out, carve the bearing block out, made everything with the knife, and was able to get a burn in, so I was satisfied with that. Did some other tasks. I released some videos on the majority of what I did. I'm going to sneak up here some of the cutting room floor stuff, just some other things I did that I didn't include in those videos. But aside from the hearth board, I did a lot of battoning with it. Hardwood, softwood, dry wood, wet wood, and it performed well in the battoning. Had no issues with it. Cut through knots really well. It held an edge after that, which was impressive. It was still technically shaving sharp. Now, it wasn't as shaving sharp as it was when I started, but with the amount of wood I batoned and other tasks I performed with it, I was impressed with the fact it held an edge. There was no chipping or rolling or damage to the edge. But in general, the sheath has held together well. I think it's a well-made sheath. I like the dangler option. Wearing it with the dangler meant I could get into my vehicle or get into a side-by-side, and the knife didn't fetch up anywhere and it wasn't poking me in the ribs. And with a long coat, it made for easy access to the knife. So I like that. Aside from the sheath, the knife held up well. There was no damage to the edge, no chips, no rolling. And like I say, after the amount of use I put it through, and I did not touch the edge throughout the testing. The edge I started with, I left that through all the testing, didn't hone it, didn't strop it, nothing. And after all was said and done, it was still technically shaving sharp. So, and took no damage. So I was pleased with that. You can see it's starting to get a bit of a patina on it, which is good. That'll help protect it from rust. You do have to make sure with a carbon steel blade that you do clean it after use, and before you put it away, you oil it. Because if you use this and put it away, stuff it in the sheath wet overnight, you're going to wake up in the morning to a rusty knife. So you do have to use proper care. One other issue I saw many people comment was that with the BPS knives, and they do have quite a few different knives in their line, that the handle scales would shift or come loose with hard use. Now, I put it through a lot of hard use, a lot of batonning, and had no issues with that. The scales did not move, they stayed tight. And that may be the fact that before I even started using the knife, I took an Allen key, and it takes a 3/32 Allen key, and I cranked down on those bolts and made sure they were good and tight. So perhaps other people testing the knife didn't do that, but that was just a little forethought I put into it. So they've held up well, haven't shifted, haven't moved, no stepping, everything is good. In my initial impressions video, I commented that I felt the handle was a little lean. It wasn't filling my hand as much as I would like. At times, that did create a little fatigue in my hand because I was having to really grip it tight. So a fatter handle, I think, for me, and I don't have extra large hands, they're probably medium size. I wear a medium to large glove. A little more girth in the handle, I think, would have been better and would have prevented my hand from tiring. But that wasn't a major issue for me. So, and I wore gloves, which did help. So really, no great complaints about the knife. It's a knife you have to care for. You have to clean it. You have to oil it. You have to make sure you store it properly. But other than that, it performed well. And considering the price, I mean, for me in Canada, to order this off of Amazon is about $100, and then you'll pay taxes and shipping. I ordered it straight from the BPS website, so it came from Ukraine through the US. It was purchased in US currency, so there was exchange on that, and then shipping, duty, Canadian taxes, and everything came up to about $75. So pretty good performance for a $75 knife. So would I recommend it? Yeah, I think I would. I would certainly recommend it to any of my friends or fellow woodsmen, hunters. I mean, it's not a hunting knife. It's more of a camp knife, a bushcraft knife, a utility knife. You know, it's going to serve a variety of roles. And some people may comment that, you know, I did some things with the knife that, you know, why wouldn't you use a hatchet for that? Why wouldn't you use a saw for that? Well, normally I would. But when I approached the testing of this knife, I approached it as if, what is it if this is the only tool I had? You know, maybe I'm on a canoe trip and I flip my canoe in the river and I lose my pack that's got my saw and my hatchet and whatnot in it. And all I've got left is the knife that's on my hip. Is that knife going to serve me in that situation? Will I be able to start a fire, make kindling, make a shelter with it, cut the branches, cut the saplings and things I need to make a shelter? And from what I experienced with it, I think it would do all that. Any good camp knife, bushcraft, survival knife, whatever you want to call it, should be able to perform all the tasks you need to build a camp, set up a camp, maintain a camp, or survive. So, and I think the knife will do that. Can you get better? Well, most definitely. Better steel, better handle materials, you know, but you're going to pay for that. If you want to go out and spend $200, $300 for a knife, then you're going to get a knife that you don't have to maintain as much, that you don't have to sharpen as much, that you don't have to care for on a regular basis. But is it going to perform a whole lot better in general? Not necessarily. You don't need an expensive knife to have a good knife. An expensive knife is a knife that you just have to maintain less, really. And I don't mind maintaining a knife. I like sharpening knives. I like cleaning knives. You obviously have seen that from some of my videos. So I think it's a good knife. And I think if you pick one up, as long as you're willing to take care of it, it'll serve you well. So anyways, that's it for today, folks. I hope you had a chance to check out the testing videos and you enjoyed those. And other than that, I hope you have a great day. And you know what? There's a lot of craziness in the world right now. A lot of people stressed out. You know what? Take some time, go for a walk in the woods. It's peaceful. It's quiet. Probably nobody there is going to bug you. Take a friend. Go by yourself. If you do go by yourself, make sure people know where you're going to be, just in case you get into trouble. And take a knife with you. You never know. Might just come in handy. Y'all take care.